going on, guys? Welcome back to Very Own Shenanigans, Jukebox Shenanigans. Today, I'm Matt.
And I'm Frank.
And today we are continuing Epic the Musical. We have just come right out of Mutiny and Scylla. We spent way too much time on that one. If you haven't already checked that one out, go check it out. We talked a lot.
Talking la 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 like this is business as usual.
Let us know if you made it to the end of that one too.
We made it to the end. We did break down a lot in those songs, more than we've actually ever broken down in any of these other ones that we've done before. We've talked about the animatics, we've talked about the music, we've talked about the vocal stylings
and
and
the
everything
tie-ins from everything. So
if you like to hear all that kind of stuff, make sure you go check that out and watch to the end. There's a lot of stuff that we go through in there. With that being said, we're not going to spend a lot of time on this intro, but today we are going to be checking out the last of the Thunder Saga, Thunderbringer, with the animatic by Neil Illustrator. Make sure you go check out Jay and the animatic creator, Neil, down in the description below. Show them support. Now, again, at the start of every video, we say this. I have seen everything up until the end of Thunder Saga, and I've listened to the Wisdom Saga with a few animatic clips here or there for that one. Frank has listened to everything up until this point, as well as a few songs past this point, out of order. So this is one of the ones that he has seen before.
I have heard this song, and there's one more after this that I've heard. That's it.
Yes, which is going to be in the next saga. But just because he's heard it doesn't mean he can't give a first-time reaction.
It was out of order, so and I have not seen the animatics, so
yeah,
this will still be right.
Have anything to add to this? Because I have a ton to add to this. Because I'm sure there's a lot of things that he probably missed that I can drop some facts on him in this one. So without further ado, Thunderbringer, Luke Holt, with his buttery voice.
Flashing lights. If this bothers you, click away. Okay. Immediately, so we have to do. This is a new artist, right? I don't think we've reacted to any animatics here. I can see already. There's a lot more detail happening with Neil here. Oh, good. Thank you, Neil, for putting your tag on the bottom so I can tell.
Now, the reason that a lot of people love this animatic is because they do it right to the myth, right? Obviously,
okay.
In the end of the last song, in the last animatic, they are on the boat and rowing away. In the actual mythos, they do not make it off of the island before Zeus appears.
Okay.
Right. When people are saying full speed ahead and fast, and Odyssey is saying faster, it's actually talking about them running to the boat. Full speed ahead, like they're trying to get to the boat because they're not on a boat, right? So this stays a little more true to the myth, as you saw that they were still on the island, not even on the boat yet.
Okay. Oh, that's cool. Thunderclap to make eyes. I like how he's sticking more to a Greek style here too.
Pride is a damsel in distress, hiding away where only I can undress her.
That is such an unfortunate line coming out of Zeus, if we know anything about Zeus.
Well, it's a perfect line to come out of Zeus.
It is. Okay, yeah, yes, it is actually a perfect line for Zeus. That's what it is.
Please, you give me too little credit.
That's exactly who he is. That's exactly who he is.
For those who don't get the joke, this is the one thing I do know about Greek mythology. Zeus had a lot of children with a lot of different people and beasts. He was very busy.
He needs to get bonked on the head with a hammer. If you get that joke, comment down below.
Trial she cannot to confess. In the end, it's all the same once I apply all the pressure.
Can I have to comment on the vocal? I have to comment on the vocal. As somebody that is trying to develop a bass voice. Alright, I have a tenor bass voice. To A, get a bass voice, B, one that is audible that you can hear, and C, as clean as this. Do you know the lungs this man has to have here? You breathe. Any singer in any range, in any octave, of any style, needs to have a phenomenal air control. A bass specifically, because you have to do something a little different. You actually have to lead air ahead of when you bring in the vocal, the vibration of your voice in order to hit the notes. Like, so anytime you hear a bass singer, they are doing extra work to get the notes out, and requires a
Yeah.
lot more air. It's all from your gut. Okay, I'm sorry, just jealousy.
What
Okay.
I'm gonna say is that it's way out of my vocal range. My vocal range is a high, so it's way out. The only time that I can sing this song anywhere close to the range that it's supposed to be is right after I wake up at like
Oh yeah.
5 in the morning, and and my voice is just deep in the morning, and I'm just like,
It's even then.
yeah, I can't even do it now.
Hunter, bring it. It's and I don't even think that's even in the right octave.
No, you're not in the right octave at all. But
Yeah, it's
before I listened to the Wisdom Saga, this was my favorite song, followed closely by No Longer You. It's no longer the case. I've found a new favorite, but this song is still really high up on my list because it's so good. Luke's vocals are amazing, as we've said, and I'm gonna keep saying it. I'm gonna pause every minute, and that's a joke. That's a joke. I promise.
Promise, I got you guys.
I don't promise.
Liar!
Lightning wields her, use and gild her. Show her what she can't conceal, for true nature will be revealed.
I do want to point out one thing before we go into his next verse. Have you noticed that there's this entire thing, this entire first minute 30, he has not yet addressed Odysseus. He has not yet addressed Odysseus. He has not yet addressed the crew. He has not yet addressed anybody.
well, because Zeus is
except for this proverbial woman who does not exist.
because Zeus is the top dog. He is the from my understanding of mythology, he is the top
He's
of
the
all
king of
of
the
the
gods.
deities. So
Yes, he's the king of the gods.
he's so forget about being beneath him. These guys are so far down on that list. Comparatively,
Yeah.
I mean,
We are worms! Wormless worms!
Which is great characterization for Zeus in both the lyric choices for him, MJ, and also the fact that he doesn't acknowledge Odysseus.
he's not even
It's
looking
it's
at him
truly,
half the time.
yeah, it's truly showing that I'm horny
Ay, ay, ay.
and I'm better than you.
Like,
That's exact great characterization of Zeus, and that's all I wanted to say. It's Luke Holt has a great voice. All
Tell
right.
me, Odysseus, if I were to make you choose the lives of your men and crew or your own, why do I think they'd lose?
oh, he's playing with him now. He's got the same smirk Odysseus has. He's like, hey man.
Yeah.
He's like, I already know you're gonna choose.
Now, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Right? You just got stabbed by your crew, then tied up to a statue, and then when you tell them not to kill a cattle, they kill a cat. You gotta choose them. They're the ones who got us in the situation. They're the ones who killed the cow in a situation.
And especially in Odysseus's mind, because now don't forget it, especially after the song Monster, it's I need to get home to my wife. We're gonna hammer in this point every song. I need for now on, I guess. I need to get home to my wife. It's I.
It's me, bitch.
So
Me first.
me first, exactly. And even Eurylochus in the last song was the same way. He was like, how much longer should I suffer? I pay for what you did. I want to, Now everybody's selfish intentions have been revealed.
Right. And what's going to happen is the real true intentions will be revealed now through pressure. Zeus is saying that true intentions will be revealed when I apply all the pressure. Meaning, like, he's going to be applying pressure to this situation, and that is just a fact about life. Is
You
that
have
when
to take
pressure
it.
applied to people,
Yeah, sorry, go on.
when people are pressured, right? When pressure is put down on people, the true person is going to come out,
Of course.
right? The true intentions of what's going to happen, right? Because like if someone's pushing down on you, you're going to push back
Once you see the real me, you are gonna run for the hills.
to get what you want rather than what other people might want.
Of course, and this is different from Cersei's, from even Poseidon. Even though Poseidon's like I think in the top 3
Yep, he's
levels.
they are the big three. It's because it's
The big three.
Zeus, Hades, and Poseidon.
Right. This is the king of them. This is forget about leagues above. This is not even like comprehensible to these guys because
King in the castle, king in the castle.
first of all, we have to think of it this way. This mythology at the time is not a myth, it's a faith, it's a religion. This is like for the Christian crowd here. This is like God coming down himself, right? And being like, "Hey, I'm dealing with you directly." It's like unheard. Like obviously Jesus came down, but that's a whole nother discussion. But like to put it into that perspective, this is the being of beings in their eyes is now challenging him and telling him, "Hey, you gotta choose." So even if he didn't apply any extra pressure, this is like you cannot lie to this guy. There is
pressure on it in itself. So
yeah, he's just his
applying
appearance is pressure. Like you can't lie to this guy. You can't trick this guy. He knows your intention already. He already knows what you're gonna do, and he even says it. Oh, why do I think they're gonna lose? Like he already knows. There is no way these guys can get out of this without the captain, Odysseus, the king, having to choose.
Also,
Honestly,
bushy mustache right here.
he's from South Greece.
He is my favorite character right there. I really hope he survives to the end.
Probably not. We'll see.
Your men and crew or your own, why do I think they lose? Enlighten me, king of Ithaca, since hunger was far too great. I wonder who'd take the weight of the damned and suffer a gruesome fate to the thunder bringer here to bring your ears until your death with fear and spear you while your death is near. Lightning.
I love the use of the thunder cracks to mark the start of a phrase where he's like thunder bring right lightning right just great mixed work to show the power that Zeus holds.
Because Jay is not using thunder as a sound effect; he's using it as an instrument here.
Yeah, and he's done that a lot throughout all of these sagas. Different things are being used in Ocean Saga, the waves in the Underworld Saga, the screams and wails of the people, the spirits
in Underworld,
in the river, right? I don't think there was really any in Cersei that was used. Not that I can remember.
No, mainly just choir, which we already established
in the
is.
Saga, when we're on the island for Open Arms, you hear the jungle sounds and the sounds of the birds and all that stuff. You know, using that as an instrument to set the tone, to set the setting.
You know,
right?
I do want to. Sorry, go continue.
No, it's just beautiful work, is what I was going to say. And that was the end of my sentence. Like, it's just chef's kiss.
Absolutely.
I'm going to say that every episode.
And I'm noticing something here, and I've listened to this song a few times, but where every other deity has brought in a choir, Zeus has yet to bring in a choir here.
Right, because he feels like he doesn't need one.
He doesn't need one. He again, this is the top dog in this belief, right? This is.
I am the hype!
Again, and then he's applying the pressure. Obviously, in the animatic, we see it. He's shooting lightning around. He's playing with them. This is nothing to him. Only reason why he's here is because they killed the cattle that you liked.
Yeah, that Helios like. Yeah, it's It's so good.
Wielder here to yield your time, for you have passed your prime, sublime you
And then the
for
looks
your
of panic on everyone's face. Odysseus just standing there, just thinking.
Ugh.
Choose. Someone's gotta die today, and you have got the final say.
You know what? Pause this for a second. This is actually really creative. I don't know the mythology, so I'm going to just go based off the animatic and the song. I like how Zeus is putting the pressure on him. He's the leader. You know, it's your decision as a leader. Guess what? Now you get to choose who dies. You know, somebody has to. You get to choose who's going back over to Horse and the Infant. When Zeus himself,
The blood on your hand you'll never lose. All you can choose
is whose.
is who.
And now that has come full circle.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
I'll say it every video. Jay is a great cook.
Jay is a genius. Thank you.
Gotta die today, and you have got the final say. You or your crew. Please don't make me do this. Don't make me.
I'm sorry. This song just throws me off a little bit. The artwork is really, really good. It's really, really good. It's just I don't picture a high voice coming out of that face. I'm sorry. That is my but for what it is a phenomenal piece still. Zeus is pretty dang good. I think he looks a little bit based like it's based off of the Zeus from what's that video game? I think it's like Hercules video game. Well, it was in the JonTron video that I saw, but there's like a whole Greek mythology game, and like Zeus looks kind of similar to that. I don't know if that was the case, but I just love the square chiseled chin. It's very much a full powerful being.
He's ready to throw hands.
He's ready to throw lightning, baby.
Rod, every time I throw my hands around, just throw lightning on the screen.
No.
But throw back at this point to Horse and the Infant when Zeus is telling him to kill the infants. He's like, please don't make me do this. Don't make me do this.
Oh my gosh. You have to kill the son of somebody. These are the sons of
people.
What is it? What's the name of the place he's from? Guess then
Ithaca?
Ithaca. Yeah, the sons of Ithaca. He has to kill the sons of Ithaca to survive. Continue.
Don't make me do this. Don't make me do this.
And we tie in Just a Man. Woo! Oh, it's
not just a man, but suffering too.
And suffering.
From this own saga, not even that far back, we're getting Penelope, the fake Penelope, but I guess in his mind it's now a real Penelope saying, I can take the suffering from you.
Remember what happened in Monster. He's going to come back, and I forgot what the exact lyric was, but it's the same you is not coming back.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. Oh, they're getting ready to kill him because they know they're cooked. They already know. Knowing what I know now,
Captain?
knowing what I know now, I'm almost on the verge of tears right now. just because I know what decision is, and how heavy the brokenness in this
In
man.
the voice of just, I have to see her. Just,
I have to see her.
He's like brought to tears because he knows what he's got to do.
I know.
Thunder, bring her through the ringer. Show her I'm the judgment call, the one who makes her kingdom fall. Lightning wield her.
Zeus is just so happy at this. He's just like, haha, I was
It's like,
right.
I knew it, man. So that's what I'm saying. There's no tricking this guy. There's no clever trick. There's no strategy to get out of this situation. He has to play the game. And name of the game, who dies?
Yeah. Now, what I love about this here, right? Watch everyone who goes to kill Odysseus and watch who does not.
Eurylochus does not.
I know.
He just stands there.
He's accepted his fate. He knows. Everyone else still has hope. Like, hey, maybe we kill him. We can get out of this. Eurylochus knows it doesn't matter. Because it's up to the captain, not up to the guys. The final thunder clash. Just give me one second.
Take your time. This one hits hard, especially for the first time. This one.
Here's the thing. I've heard this song minimum 10 times already. It's just
Yeah,
knowing
for the
what I
first
know
time
now.
When you feel in context, especially when I drop the hammer on you that Eurylochus is Odysseus' brother-in-law.
Yeah, it just plays a whole. There's a
So
whole
much.
other.
It puts a whole different perspective on everything.
Because these guys, even though they're trying to kill him, he's and they were trying to maroon him, and yes, he still chose himself over his men. But I like to think in that moment, he's crying. He's the reason why they're dead. He's kind of because he is said, "I'm going to become this monster. I will I will become this monster." And now we're seeing the result of what that actually means.
Yeah, he's starting to feel the weight of his choices now on his back. You can truly see this when he goes, like, you can hear the breaking in his voice when he says, "I have to see her."
You can call me monster.
Because he knows that
he knows what it will cost.
He has to see Penelope, but he knows what's going to cost. And when Eurylochus confirms it with him, then we'll die, and he goes, I know.
There's one.
You can hear the sadness just in his voice as he's recognizing what he's doing, and he's like,
there's that human part of him that's coming back into play. It's like, I know.
It's seeping through. It's trying to.
Too late now, but now the humanist element of it has to watch as the monster of him, side of him, kills. And there's this theme I've been thinking about, like, just thinking back to the reactions and everything of, especially when it comes to ruthlessness. Ruthlessness is mercy upon ourselves, right? There's and I try to think back, where has mercy gotten Odysseus, right? Because in a lot of cases in this, whenever he was, kinder, he showed mercy, it always came back to bite him. But now we see, even as the monster, it comes back to bite him. So is ruthlessness really mercy upon yourself? That is now going to be called into question.
So here's exactly why this is something that I learned post reaction to ruthlessness. The reason that Poseidon says this to him is because mercy is seen as something that only the gods can give.
Mm-hmm.
It is something that is strictly only godly. To now, when he decides to show mercy, he's pretty much placing himself on that level
Yeah.
of godliness, which now just pisses off the gods because they're like, "You're not a god, I'm a god. Stop
And
that."
that's probably part of the reason why Zeus is playing with him here and making him play
Yeah,
this game. Like, oh yeah, really? Okay.
yeah.
I
Now, no, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
part of the reason why this is a heavy concept. I don't want to take away from the mythology here, because I want to try to keep that in the realm of what it is. But there's a lot of basic tenets in Christianity about mercy. In a lot of different faiths, mercy, what is mercy, is always changed, and not changed, but like it differs between everything, right? And this is kind of the reason why I'm really thinking about those lines of ruthless and mercy upon ourselves. It because in the Greek aspect here, right, we see how showing mercy has came back to bite him, and how not showing mercy is also come back to bite him.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and there's a very big theme of showing mercy in Christianity, Catholicism. There is a big, a very big showing mercy, because it's I could get to the whole discussion, but it's the longer game, right? So part of me has to wonder if there was a moment where he would show mercy again, where would it have benefited him? The only true spot I've seen that is with Cersei's.
yes. He
Is
showed
I
mercy,
think is the only
and he got
part,
something good out of it.
and something good came
Well,
out of it, and that goes to show you that it can work. Mercy can work, but he is this human that's clouded by these human events that are happening. And listen, this is war. They're fighting things out of your control, out of your league. So
like a woman.
he's yeah, he's constantly, he's trying to evolve into them becoming the enemy. When I like to think that if he stayed the way he was, he probably could have gotten more men home, or they might have not been in this situation. I can't say that for certain, though, to be fair.
I mean,
But
you truly can never say anything that's for certain
sure.
unless you go and you witness the events firsthand in a different light. So
Mhm.
it's like no one truly ever knows what's going to happen in any case. Like if this is a big if Jay decided not to do epic, would someone else do it? Right? Would this be something that comes through someone else?
Right.
And we would never know because we're in the world where Jay did it.
Uh,
Jay took the time, he made it great. But who's to say that there would be a world where this doesn't exist, right?
mhm.
Where Jay decides to do a different story instead of epic, right? You know, and we would never know if Odysseus showing mercy at certain points or being ruthless at certain points, varying to what he's done in this, if it would come out differently for him,
Yeah,
because there's no recollections of what happened that show that.
mhm.
It's just what we see here.
Right. It, there's a lot of overarching questions. Mercy seems to be an overarching topic. Mercy.
Have mercy.
Then
Man versus monster.
man versus
Was a big
monster,
one.
letting this inner beast come out, and it's such. See, the thing with mythologies are like, now I've mentioned this previously. I think earlier this episode or previous reaction. But mythologies at some point in time, at least most of them, were actual religions, or believed by a
Oh yeah.
populace. Um, so you have to think of this in their eyes, in some sense. Be careful with it, but think about it. So, like you said, mercy is seen as a something only a deity can grant, right?
Yeah.
So like I said, mercy is one of those big overarching things. Then this man versus monster deal. Um, that was set up from Troy with something very basic of war. Okay, yeah, you kill a lot of people, you're probably going to be considered a monster or hero. But now we see how this monster slowly evolved into this horrid beast that has taken over control of a man, but it's the man that lets the beast come out. So in
And
some case, he has control over that. Go ahead,
yeah,
Matt.
in other words, to quote your favorite musical of all time, Hamilton,
Oh god.
at the end at the at the end of your life, you don't get to control who lives, who dies, and who tells your story. Whereas, this story being told obviously is showing Odysseus as a monster at this point. But if the story was told in a different perspective, you could argue that Odysseus' choices were all good ones and that he's being the hero in this case. Right? Because if you fully see into Odysseus' perspective, whereas like he needs to get home, he's the king of a country. He was the king of a country. He can't leave his country kingless forever,
Right.
right? So it's like in an aspect, if you turn and flex the story to show a different angle, you could say he's the hero.
Which
It's a matter of how you tell it.
I think I don't know if this gets answered or not. Don't spoil it if it does, but you have to wonder whose perspective is this from? Because there's a lot of this could be Odysseus. Maybe he survives
But
and he's
also,
reflecting upon it, or maybe it's his wife. The name just left my head. Maybe she's like, oh,
I know.
he had to make this decision to come home, or it could be even Zeus's point of view of these events, right? Or it could be it could be
Gorgeous.
Athena's point of view of events. Like we don't know, at least at this stage, and at least I don't, whose perspective this is written from. Or it could just be Jay's
Yeah,
perspective of the story. But
yeah, it could also just be an outside perspective of the story,
Mhm.
where it's not in a first person sense of the word at all, where it's not like you're seeing it not through a specific person's eyes, but the whole thing as a whole.
And there's another thing too. There's a bit of a theme of leadership in here as well. I would like to think there's definitely a theme of brotherhood too. But I would assume it ends here with this
Betrayal.
song. Betrayal is another one.
Yeah.
Um, with so the theme of leadership, right? Basically, right now, what we're getting is a leader is not always going to make the best calls. Not always going to make the correct call. We're human. We're going to make mistakes, and this also plays into two themes. Selfishness is one. I think greed. Although that could be saying the same thing, but definitely selfishness. It seems to
Definitely
be a
stuff is
big
definitely,
arc, and at least
definitely,
in Act Two, from what we're
um,
seeing so far.
yeah, and definitely Odysseus starting to put himself first,
Mm,
right? And what he wants, right? Because obviously, when we go back to the Cyclops saga, he went into that with the let's get everyone out alive,
right.
which backfired and then wound up killing his best friend, right? Where he now sees it as okay, if if I went into Cyclops, like the Cyclops layer, and thought less so of saving my men and more so of saving my best friend, would things turn differently, right? Am am I the one who killed you every time I caved to guilt?
Mm.
Right? Back to monster, right? Is if I did not feel guilty for putting what I wanted first, would things be different?
Yeah.
Which again is something that you would truly never know in the aspect of that specific scenario. But now you get into this situation here where he is putting himself for what he wants, and it's not quite turning out the best for him
It's
either.
yeah. It's decisions that are made everything you do, every action you do has a consequence, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of tall tales or mythology and parables, there's always a lesson in this or what to be learned. I would say in the story of Odysseus, selfishness is something to like not be selfish, because we see how much that's breaking apart his team, how much is
Yeah,
breaking
his just not
himself
just his
apart
team, but
too.
his life.
Like
His life in general is just
yeah.
breaking apart as he's being more and more selfish. More and more things are going wrong for him, right?
We're seeing
Where he
the break of a man, the breaking of a
right.
man.
If in the Ocean Saga he was not as selfish as to not trust his second in command, and he decided to say, "Hey, Eurylochus, I trust you. This is what's in the bag. This is 100% truthful what's in the bag. Do not open the bag. I need to get some rest."
Mm. Who's to
You-
say that
There's
Eurylochus wouldn't
who's to
have?
say that Eurylochus would have opened the bag, right?
Mm,
Because part of the reason why I feel like Eurylochus opened the bag is because Odysseus didn't trust him enough to hand him the bag,
mm.
right?
It's kind of
Where
like
he
the idea of wanting something you can't have.
right where he wants like if Odysseus was to tell him, "Hey, this is what's in the bag. I trust you. Hold the bag for me so I can get a nice rest." It may have ended up differently because Eurylochus would be like, "Ah, he trusts me to hold the bag," right? Meaning like it can't be treasure that he's trying to hold for himself,
Mm,
right? He's trusting me with it.
mm.
And when someone trusts you with something, chances of you doing exactly the opposite of what they asked you to do is slimmer because it's like, oh, they trust me to do this.
And it
I'm going to
probably
do
would
this thing.
have
They want me to do it.
definitely mended their relationship a bit if he's like, "This is so important. I need you to hold on to this and not do this." That shows a big layer of trust, which, because what do we see a lot of the time with this with actually that was Cersei. That was after the wind. Was it after the wind, Cersei's?
Yeah.
Yes, yes. But okay, so even in full speed ahead, he's this guy that's constantly questioning you, right? And Odysseus got, like, gets tired of that. He's like, "Hey, don't stop questioning me. We need all, I need you to follow my words to the T." But I feel like if he would have trusted him with that bag, like, "Hey, take this bag." Oh, he still thinks of highly of me. So maybe that would have prevented him from opening the bag. Again, you don't know. We don't know,
Yeah,
but
exactly. No
we
one
could
knows. No one truly
theorize.
knows. Yeah. Now, I only have one last thing that I want to say if you don't have anything left.
I think I'm good. So take it away.
Okay. This this information here might bring you back to where you were when we first ended the song. With feeling things. Everyone just got blown up.
Right.
Odysseus thrown into the water. We hear this song, right? Thunder crash. Everyone's thrown everywhere.
Sounds familiar.
It shouldn't. I don't believe it's been heard before. The song's title is Telemachus's Lullaby.
Hmm.
So, a song written and for specifically Telemachus, now
His
being
son.
played at the end of Thunderbringer when he just sacrificed his men in order to make it home to see said son.
Right. Man.
Right? And it's like it's very impactful now when you think like it's also a lullaby, meaning to sleep.
Mhm.
This is playing as all of the rest of his men are now going to sleep forever. It's also horrifying to think that all of these men who just got blown up by Zeus are going to now just be souls in the river Styx, just screaming out,
Yeah. I think someone.
thinking about their last thoughts,
I think
which are probably going to be more people screaming out, "Captain!"
maybe. I believe in one of our comments someone pointed out that there's a few traditions that in at least in the ancient Greek world that he doesn't get to do, which is A, bury his men, B, I think put quarters on the coins on the eyes,
I don't know if it's actually in the eyes, but they
think
do
it's
have to be
like
buried with the drachma so that they can pay the ferryman to take them
right,
across and the
and
underworld.
that's why they get stuck at the river, or they get stuck
Right,
at the
stuck in the
entrance.
river, yeah.
Yeah. So again, and now assuming yeah, he would probably know his own faith system. Not only has he doomed the men to death, he's doomed them to an eternal in between, because like they can't even pass
Purgatory,
on.
pretty much. Yeah.
They can't even pass on. Like this, according to their belief, they can't even pass on now. So he's doomed them twice with one action.
Right. Which it comes down to the matter of, was it doomed twice intentionally or not? With Polites and the 7 men who died in the Cyclops cave, and Elpenor who died on Zeus' island, and all the men who died to Poseidon, he didn't really have a choice. He could not save the men from the Cyclops because he would risk killing more men.
Mm-hmm.
He could not save the men from the ocean. They're in the ocean. He could not save Elpenor's body because he didn't know.
Right.
Nor did he realize. Right. At this point, whether or not he can save the men's souls comes down to a bunch of factors. Does he have enough gold to bury everybody? Right, the drachma. Does he have enough? Does he have the time to bury everybody? Is he even still on the island? Is he still alive? Is he not alive? Is he still awake? Right? Or did this concussive blast from Zeus knock him unconscious? Right? There's a lot of points here that go into question on whether or not he is capable and able to do this for these men. Right? Because every up until this point, everyone who's died and has been in the underworld when he got to the underworld was stuck in the river because he couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm. I would think that he picked them to die. That's on purpose. I think his judgment's clouded by his desire to go home. So yes, he did doom them twice, but I don't think the second part of that was intentional. It's just a result of the action taken.
I don't know. Because again, I don't think he would do it intentionally, especially with the way that he said, "I know,"
and a tear, and he still cries for his men.
Crying, right? So you would think that if he's feeling this for his men, he wouldn't intentionally doom them to the river Styx unless he was not able to do what he needed to do.
So, or he could just be completely blind to the fact that it could be not even in his mind.
Which is also possible, which again is not intentional. He's not intentionally doing it. I don't know. That's just Matt's fun fact of the day. Last thing before we go, Jay's a genius. Join us next time for the Wisdom Saga, one of my favorite sagas. Frank is going to enjoy this one, I'm sure. If you enjoyed this one, thank you. If you haven't seen the other ones, check them out. We broke down Scylla and Mutiny so much last time. If you love listening to people break things down fully, go back to that one. We tried not to do it too much on this one. We did it anyway. So,
yeah. Sorry. Comment down below if you made it to the end.
Yes, let us know if you made it to this point. Comment down below a cookie, and we will pin your comment for 20 minutes. That's a lie. I don't know. We'll pin your comment, but if someone else comments a cookie, we'll pin that comment. And it's a race for the cookie.
Yep.
All we gotta say. If we haven't checked out all the other ones already, and you just clicked on this one, go check out our other reactions to all the Epic stuff and some of our other videos out here. As we get closer to the end of Epic, though, we are going to be looking for new music and new musicals to check out. So please, please, please comment down below any suggestions you have for us to check out. When we get closer to the end, we're going to put a poll up with a bunch of ideas, both come up with our crew and your guys' suggestions, and we'll let you guys vote before we make a decision.
Yep.
Hey there, Honest Fam. If you enjoyed the chaos and fun today, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more wild adventures.
Remember, if you let us shenan once, we'll shenan again. So stick around for more last and unexpected twists.
Got any ideas for our next shenanigan? Drop them in the comments below. Until next time, keep it honest and keep it fun.
Goodbye.
Peace.